So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a mug out of a pinch pot. So you're going to start with a chunk of clay, roughly this size. It's about a pound. And then what you're going to do is, first and foremost, you want to wedge your clay. So you're going to take it and just sort of knead it onto the table. And what this is doing is popping any air bubbles that might be trapped in the clay. And if it sticks to the table, well, you guys will be using a mat. I don't have a mat currently, but if it did stick to the table, you can just kind of pick it up and then add it back into your clay. And just kind of wedge it back and forth on the table and then in your hands. And then what you're going to do is you're going to roll it into a ball. Okay? And you can kind of hit it a little bit. And that helps it form a little bit quicker. Okay, and you want to make sure you don't have any creases. So for example, like this little area, I can just take my finger and blend that. And same on this side. Okay, and then just go around, check it, make sure that all your areas that need to be smooth are smoothed. Okay. And then once you're good to go, what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and you're going to press it into the clay. So notice what I'm doing is I'm holding it, the clay, in my left hand, and I'm going to take my right hand and press my thumb into the clay. Now you don't want to go all the way down, but about 3/4 of the way down. Okay, and you can see now I've got an opening into my clay. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to hold the clay in my left hand, and with my right hand I'm going to start pinching. Now you want to pinch slowly because you don't want to make your clay open up too fast. And I'm also pinching down because right in this area, right here, is where your clay is the thickest currently. And what we want to do is we want a uniform thickness between the bottom of our mug and the sides. So you're going to kind of pinch down and out as you spin. And you can kind of play around with the shape. Later I'm going to show you how to add a handle to this, how to add a foot if you want to, and how to do some different things. As you're going, you can work down from the bottom and then work your way up to the top and pinch it out. And just make sure again that you've got nice uniform consistency. And you can open up your mug to be a little bit wider if you want to, depending on the style you're going for. And I'll show you how to play around with the shape a little bit more too. Okay, so this is probably the most time-consuming part of making a mug from a pinch pot, but the effort that you put in now is going to give you better results in the end. Also, I want to point out that you'll notice that your bottom is not flat yet, but we will flatten that out later, so don't worry about that too much right now. Okay, you just focus on making your mug and getting the opening and the walls the correct width. If you need to, you can also take your finger and smooth out areas as well. And really, just with your hands, you can manipulate the clay to do what you want it to do. So there's a lot of cool things you can do just with your hands alone forming the clay. So at this point I don't even really need many tools. Okay, so I'm getting pretty good as far as my consistency is going, and I'm going to smooth this out and really shape it a little bit later. Okay, but that biggest thing is you just want to make sure you don't have an area that's too thick. Now I'm liking the width of mine, but if you notice that your opening is getting too wide, if you just cup it and kind of gently push it in like this, you can make the opening smaller again. Okay, but again, I'm liking how mine is looking right now, so I'm good. And again, I'm going to keep going around, pinching this and making sure I've got the consistency that's even all the way around. Because what's going to happen if you have an area that's too thick down here it will not dry properly, and it will definitely break, maybe during the drying process, otherwise definitely in the kiln. So we don't want that to happen. So at this point I'm feeling pretty good about the overall shape of my mug here. So now I can flatten out the bottom. Now to do that, I'm just going to kind of lightly tap it on the table surface, and that's going to flatten it out for me. And later I'll show you how to add a foot onto there if you want to. So overall my mug isn't a super big mug. You could definitely create a larger one if you used a little bit more clay. So keep that in mind. If you want a smaller one, use a little bit less clay, of course, and then if you want a bigger mug, you could add a little bit more than what I had. And if you're not sure, just ask me in class and I can get you the right amount for the size mug that you're looking for. So my next step is going to be to let this sit for a little bit and become leather hard, and then I'm going to come back in and work with the shape. So you can watch part 2 of the video.